Your Highness Lieutenant General Sheikh Saif bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, and of course, dear students and parents. It's an honor to be invited to speak at Interface exhibit. An honor because it takes place in the gilded premises of the Emirates Palace, even though in the digital version. An honor because of the distinguished cast of individuals speaking before and after me. An honor also because there is something quintessentially UAE about the topic and the place. The extraordinary success that the UAE has enjoyed in the last 50 years is in large part due to its incredible investment in education, in intelligence, in people. It is plain to see in those beautiful yellow pictures of His Highness Sheikh Zayed visiting village schools. Plain also in the crackling footage of kids in the 1970s lining up for anthem, lesson, and sport. That is what sets the UAE apart from the entire region. This is what nurtures the country's uncanny ability to anticipate, to plan, to achieve, and indeed, to succeed. But I was asked today to speak more particularly about two things which are dear to my heart: volunteer work and sustainable development. Now, to my student friends, I will say this: the world has just been through a global trauma, and it is still reeling. You have been forced to stay home and study from afar. You may have lost dear relatives. You may have been smashed by the illness for weeks, as I myself have been. This is sending you a message. Listen to the world. Listen to what the pandemic has to say. Hear the call. And indeed, through those bodies huddled in ICU beds, through those sad, busy corridors, through the solitary deaths, and through the forced introspection in lockdown, it begs you to elicit change. It begs you to get engaged. This illness has shown that we may be resilient, but we're not sustainable. We must rethink it all. And we count on the fresh look of youth, on the fresh energy, on the boundless ambition, untempered by experience. Change must come in many ways. We must change our consumption habits, change our energy use, change our waste management. We must change our way of traveling, change our attitude to workplace, change our life balance. Even our way of socializing may have to change. And probably many of the things need to change that the adult generation has not thought of, but that it is your task, student friends, to find out. And on my modest level, I would like to highlight a few ways in which France can help. Sustainable development is very high on the French agenda. We initiated the Paris Agreement on climate, and we were absolutely elated when the Biden administration decided that the US would get back into the agreement after years of lapse. And we are now tirelessly working to deliver on the provisions. But there is so much more to do. Sustainable development is also about development. Africa will soon be the most dynamic continent in terms of demography and also in terms of economic growth. We can help this happen in a sustainable way by tackling both underdevelopment, underinvestment, and over-indebtedness. President Macron will hold this spring an important summit on African development to address precisely these issues. But for you students, there is also a concrete consequence. First, in sync with our international agenda, French universities have developed very strongly in areas that are directly relevant to sustainable development. You are very welcome to explore how to study there in France, and Campus France, also present on the Interface exhibit, will give you more details. As for me, I will just mention that University Paris-Saclay ranked first worldwide in mathematics in the Shanghai ratings, Sorbonne Université in earth science and oceanography, PSL University in ecology. So please look up these places of excellence They will equip you with the best possible skills for sustainable development, and they will be more than happy to welcome you. Second, French companies are actively contributing to sustainability here. EDF, for instance, is building in Ad-Dhafra the largest photovoltaic field in the world, so your power tomorrow will be provided in a more sustainable way. Third, the French ecosystem here in the UAE also offers opportunity for you to get involved. I will give 3 quick examples. First example, Circulab. Circulab is a non-profit organization established in France. It organizes training on circular economy in universities in France and abroad. We will organize here in the UAE a workshop involving Khalifa University, UAE, Sorbonne Abu Dhabi. It will be held at Youth Hub. I hope you will be able to participate. Second example, a startup called Ceramic. It aims to transform industrial solid waste into affordable raw material for advanced ceramic manufacturing, such as floors, wall tiles, and technical ceramics. The founder, with a PhD in engineering science from a French university, benefited from the outstanding environment of Masdar Institute within Khalifa University of Sciences and Technology to make his company thrive. He also created the Masdar Institute Solar Platform, the first platform in the UAE dedicated to research and development on concentrated solar power and thermal energy storage. It is a good example of what you can achieve when university excellence meets the right ecosystem of UAE and French cooperation. Third example, another startup called Data Hub. It is an inclusive platform dedicated to knowledge that aims at bringing youth together by sharing quality educational content in different formats and languages. This platform was created by a Sorbonne University Abu Dhabi alumna, Ms. Kautar Abdallah, a law graduate who's fluent in 3 languages. Data Hub bridges the gap between those who have access to knowledge and education and those who do not, simply by sharing high-quality content and pairing advanced students and graduates with younger generations. But beyond all these examples, and moving to a more personal note, I would like to say that the pandemic is also an occasion to rethink not only our relationship to production, consumption, and knowledge. It is also an occasion to rethink our relationship to others. Isolation has created a lot of economic and personal misery, even here. The post-COVID period will certainly be a lot about enjoyment and returning to normalcy. Let it be also about solidarity. And on this, I will venture a piece of advice. Get engaged, spread goodness, give without restraint. There are many organizations that do charity here, including French organizations, and I would be happy to share the details if there's interest. There is a beautiful Indian proverb that should sum up, in my view, what our world of tomorrow should be about. That world of which you students will be the architects. It says that all that is not given is lost. I hope this piece of wisdom will accompany you, and I wish you an excellent interface exhibit. Thank you very much.